Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with the Fast Lane truck, and behind me the 2015 Ram Rebel. It's covered with mud, and that's a good thing because any cool truck looks even better covered with mud, right? Now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to give you our first driving impression of this vehicle. We're going to take it off-road, we're going to drive it on the highway, and we're going to get it nice and dirty just like what you see here. And that is coming up next. All right, here we go. You guys have been dying for this. This is the Hemi. 5.7 liters, 395 horsepower, 410 pound-feet of torque, and it's hooked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission, or torque flight. And, well, this is four-wheel drive. All of the vehicles they gave us are four-wheel drive, and they all have the Hemi. Now, there are a few options that you can get. For instance, you can get basically this truck, but rear drive only. You can get this truck with a V6. It's the Pentastar. And if you really want, you can get it with a different rear end. Now this one has the 392 rear end, but you can get a different one as well. The Ram Rebel has proven to be a much better vehicle than I anticipated. I thought it would be stiff-legged because of the air suspension. It's not. Now I feel that part of that has to do with the fact that it has 33-inch tires. They're helping. And, you know, it's good. It's, you know, definitely a proper riding truck. There's nothing about it that feels wimpy or limp. It feels very tight and controlled. All of the motions that it makes are the right motions. Now here's the thing about the styling when it comes to the 2015 Ram Rebel. All new grille. This is completely new. It's no longer the cross-haired one. And because of that, it actually has a different aerodynamic property to it. It is slightly more aerodynamic than the cross-haired grille. Now, you might be wondering about this, because it doesn't really look real. It is. It's real steel. And it's not only a skid plate, but obviously it goes to the bumper. Now there is enough room to put a winch in there. However, this is not built for that. So you would have to completely replace the bumper to do so. That comes directly from Ram.
So beginning with the air suspension, the Rebel took advantage of the exclusive air suspension that Ram offers, giving it a 1-inch factory lift. So the normal ride height on the Rebel sits 1 inch higher than the standard Ram. There's also the off-road setting, can raise it an additional inch. Like the standard Ram, it also has the aero mode and the entry-exit mode. So when you reach a speed of above 62 miles an hour for a period of 20 seconds or above 66 miles an hour, the truck will naturally go into an aero mode for improved fuel economy. And this feature can be set on the radio screen as well as on a button on the instrument panel and on your key fob.
Couple other things that you should know about. For one thing, headlight cluster, this whole area, it is brand spanking new for this vehicle. However, there are a few things in this area that you may not have seen before as well, because the bumper is all unique, including the driving lights. So pretty much a whole new front end. Now, as I mentioned before, these are fake. However, if you pop the hood, you'll see that on the other side of this plastic is another piece of plastic that butts up against it. So if you really wanted these to be functional, you could yank them apart and then open up an area for, I don't know, venting.
You get pretty good communication from the seat of your pants when you're driving this thing off-road. And the same goes for its highway ride, which it drops 2 inches once you go past 60 miles per hour for like 20 seconds, whatever it is, and gives you better aerodynamics as you're cruising down the highway. It's really stable, and it drives just like a regular 1500, with the exception of your ability to trigger suspension lift.
Okay, these are unique wheels and tires, 33s baby. That's why they lifted it, so you can get these tires underneath it. Yet, according to Ram, it does not affect this vehicle compared to the regular Ram negatively in any way, shape, or form. For those of you who like the big belt buckles, and we at the Fastlane car and the Fastlane truck love them, that will definitely be something that you're into. Look how big those letters are. That's ridiculous. Now there is a couple things. First of all, Andre, my buddy, pointed out something about the departure angle, and that is, even though this is built for off-roading, because you have the dual exhaust and the trail hitch, you're actually losing some of your departure angle back there. And in the front, because of the lift, you actually gain 4 degrees approach angle.
It's not a Raptor fighter. It isn't. The Raptor is a completely re-engineered truck, whereas in this one is a modified truck. This, to me, competes directly with the Ford FX4 package and perhaps the Toyota TRD Pro, and then of course there's the Nissan one, which is the Pro 4X, right? There you go. So I think it competes with those vehicles. It doesn't go to that next level. That's what the Power Wagon and the Raptor are for. They're at that higher level.
Okay, so this is where the interior and the exterior come together. Now, as I mentioned before, this vehicle has 33-inch tires. Specifically, these are Toyo 33-inch tires. They are open country off-road tires. Fantastic so far. They self-clean beautifully. They look cool. But here's where they connect to the interior. If you look at the seat backs up front and in the back, you're going to see the tread pattern from those tires. So it's kind of cool. It doesn't really make a difference whether or not they're there, but it's just a nice touch. Now here are a few other nice touches. First of all, the name Rebel is embossed all over the place. And when you fire it up, you're going to see on this unique instrument display, Rebel pop up. So it reminds you constantly of where your good money has gone. Now, you also can see here in this area, they've definitely gone to the next level when it comes to adding trim, and it's a really nice way of complementing the colors here. And thank you so much, Ram, for having a nice padded area to put your elbow. That's nice as well. Altogether, the entire interior is very unique to the Rebel, but at the same time, for those of you who have driven the 1500, it's not that different.
The center console is also new. We've modified the cup holders a bit to really grip the cups when they're in there, as well as added this phone holder. Actually, I should say media device holder, because it's flexible to take many different sizes. The floor mats are also of a rubber construction, so easy to clean. Has, again, the two-tone with the Ram emblem. Even on the glove box, we have the detail with the Rebel name on the decal there. And then also two-tone stitching. There's both a red and a white stitching to kind of set the Rebel apart from our standard Ram.
When you go on the highway, it actually lowers 2 inches to make it more aerodynamic. However, when you're off-road, it'll lift up to 1 inch higher than its standard height to give you better articulation and ground clearance. Altogether, it's a simple system, or is it? It actually feels like it's extremely advanced and that you're getting a lot for the money.
We tuned the alignment, we changed the wheel angles as well as the lower control arm to absorb the road loads. In the rear suspension, we have the link coil suspension, and clearly in the case of the Rebel, the coils are replaced with the air springs. We also tuned the rear stabilizer bar. We stiffened it, so we stiffened the rear roll to have a better front to rear connectivity. Standard on the Rebel are the skid plates, so we protect the fuel tank, the transfer case, the steering gear.
So there you have it, folks. In a whole package, this is truly not a Raptor fighter. It's more of an FX4 fighter. Now, there are a couple things you should know. For one, they have not announced pricing yet. Hopefully we'll get that within the next 60 days or so, closer to the time that this baby comes out. Now, on top of that, you might want to, sit down for this. It gets basically the same gas mileage as the regular version. 15 miles per gallon city, 22 miles per gallon highway. That's pretty impressive considering all the extra stuff they put on here to make it more off-road worthy. For the Fast Lane Truck, this is Nathan Adlin. Don't forget to go to tfltruck.com for news, views, and real-world reviews. See you later. Okay, for you history buffs, look behind me. Now, this isn't the same truck, but it is a similar truck. Let me clarify this. Walker Evans in 1979 took a Dodge Ram pickup truck, the first pickup truck to ever win Baja 1000. This one belongs to Rod Hall, but it's basically the same truck. I mean, at least design-wise, right? I don't know why they didn't bring the. Why didn't they bring the? That's Rod Hall's truck.